Meeting to order and say the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, well, good morning, everyone. I'd like to welcome everyone to the March 5th commission meeting. And for everyone who's never been to our commission meeting before, I'll just, well, it's on YouTube, just like to explain a few things. At the beginning of our meetings, this is a Zoom, and I would like to have everyone speak one at a time. If you want to speak, either raise your hand or indicate to me that you would like to speak. And I will call on you to speak. This is nothing new. I do it at all the meetings here. But I still wanted to remind everyone that I want to run an orderly meeting. So we will next go to additions to the agenda. And I'm gonna start with Danny.
It's a jail meeting, I guess.
Okay.
Jail meeting?
Amy.
Just want to update on the library meeting, or the library board.
Ernie.
I got an update from Jason in the highway department, he's in Bismarck, so.
And Christie.
An update on the deputy to auditor position.
Okay. I have no added agenda. We'll move on to consent agenda. Has everyone read the February 20th meetings and looked over monthly bills? So can I have a motion to accept the meetings and the monthly bills?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any more discussion on minutes or monthly bills?
I had done on the monthly bills, I don't have them up, but on the end there was quite a bit on dispatch and update of, what was it, right at the end, it was like $6,000. For, they'd have to do with, you'd have to go back and look, but I thought, geez, that was pretty high. Cause there was 2 bills to somebody and then there was a $25 bill, but it was dispatch update of, I gotta get back in that email.
Not the additional ones, these were the original.
It was the last page of the original. That's mine again.
Everbridge.
Yeah. But it said on the right, it explained it.
Yep, 45. Teletype.
Teletypes, that's what it was, all teletype. So what do they do when they update this? Is that for the programs or is it just update new software or what?
I am not sure. I can go and pull that bill and we can discuss it. Do you want to look at it?
Yeah, I just thought if you knew off the top of your
Yeah, no,
head,
I
it just
did
seemed
not.
pretty high.
Everbridge.
I do not remember what that one is for.
Yeah,
It's a yearly contract for their service.
well, that's what I think, and then maybe some. It seemed weird because 2 we were big and one was $25.
Oh, yeah,
That would be twins.
yeah.
I guess I don't remember seeing them in the past.
No, yes, he brought that up the other,
Yeah.
couple of meetings ago. So
Yeah.
that was the, that is their annual contract.
Contract,
That
okay.
we signed,
That's okay.
I believe, what is that, a 3 or 4 year contract?
Yeah, that's why I
Yes,
hadn't
what
seen
it
it
is.
for a while. and I
Yes.
just- Okay,
Yes, that is what it is.
Yeah.
Yes, a couple meetings ago, I believe, he presented that, yes.
Okay, any other questions on the bills? Hearing none, I will call for the roll. All in favor, say aye.
Okay.
Nay, motion passed. Okay, employee time, we don't have any employee time here, so I'm gonna just go to some of the added agenda before we start our 9:10 meeting with Mr. Sanderson. Amy, you wanna give us an update on the library board?
So I attended, the library board meeting that is now fully, it's a full board now. Heather McMillan, Libby Halverson, and Mark Ayus were appointed by the city to represent. And then there's Gabe Risky and Tina Anderson that we appointed from the county, and Katrina Hodney was the remaining member. So Katrina's president, Heather's vice president, Tina's secretary, and they got a good handle and things are in a good place there, so.
Okay, great. Did they decide whether they're gonna have monthly meetings or every
No.
other month? or-
Did they make a motion for that? Yes, they made a motion, so they're going to be every other month
Okay,
meetings.
any questions about the library board? Okay, I think the other ones are a little longer. Christie, yours is, no? Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I just wanted to let everyone know that we made an offer this morning for the deputy two position. I'm hopeful she doesn't put her on the table. We should know today though if she'll accept. If not, we will repost the position. So, she doesn't have the payroll experience, but she has the banking experience that I need. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping that she will accept.
Okay. Okay, how long is your update then, Jake?
I can do it in a couple minutes.
How about you, Danny?
I missed the last jail meeting, I was just wondering what all went on with that.
Oh, I think we'll wait for after to then discuss it.
Okay.
Okay, well, if that's all for our added agenda to discuss for now, I think I'll have Mr. Sanderson come a couple minutes early and you can come and sit in the seat, Mitch, and you have till 9:20. I run a tight ship here. I like to follow the agenda because we have people who are on the agenda. I don't want to make them wait. So you can go ahead and
I'm gonna record this.
Yep.
Okay. Commissioners, I don't wanna be here, I shouldn't have to be here. But I'm gonna go through a few laws real quick before I get into our initiatives. First of all, representative government should not tell the citizens what they can and cannot talk about at a commission meeting. Because according to state law, anything that has to do with Walsh County can be brought up at this commission. Okay. The North Dakota Constitution, Article 1, says that all political power is inherent in the people. That's the citizens, not the government. And we need to get back to that, because we've lost that, we're losing this country. And if we don't get a certain president back in, we will lose this country. And this government is to protect the people and be there for the benefit of the people. I think the government has also forgotten that. And we have a right to speak at these open public forums, and we cannot be limited at these public forums as to what we speak about. That's in our North Dakota Constitution. Okay, now commissioner duties, the National Association of County Commissioners, it's clear that mandated services are to be performed by the county. And some of those are law enforcement and deal with the judiciary, which we have a problem in this county with. Okay, the Walsh County Charter also brings up that the county commission has a duty to oversee their departments and the responsibilities of those departments. Now, I've sent emails to all the county commissioners. I don't get any responses back to the problems that are going on. Continue. All right. And when we're talking about the law and it says shall, that means you have to, it's mandatory. Now, the North Dakota Supreme Court's made their rule, kind of muddy in the waters on what shall says. The US Supreme Court is what we follow on their definition of shall. Shall means mandatory. And I'm not saying that happen. You don't follow North Dakota Supreme Court rulings because the supremacy clause of the United States Supreme Court takes precedence over anything the North Dakota Supreme Court does. All right, the county commissioners also shall see that we have a harmonious and effective county government that is there to protect and safeguard the rights of the citizens of Walsh County. And I don't see that happening. And also the safety, morality, welfare of the inhabitants of Walsh County. Now, a lot of people don't feel safe around me. I'm seeing a lot of different faces. And Bergen's letting these people into our county. And I hope that this county and the commissioners and the sheriff department has a plan if something goes wrong. Because like Sean Hannity and many others and myself believe we're gonna have some serious problems coming forward here. Now, we all hope we're wrong. Okay, now, state code also says that the Board of County Commissioners shall supervise the conduct of the respective county offices and officers. That shall mean you do have a responsibility to oversee the sheriff's department, the state's attorney, and the judges in this county. Judges operating in this county. That's in state law. More powers of the Board of the County Commissioners shall have the following powers: to inquire into official conduct of any officer or office under the control of the county. Again, silence from all you guys. If you don't want to do the job, resign, let someone else do it. It's pretty simple. Otherwise, you're violating the law. You have the ability to require these departments to do things. You have the ability to subpoena witnesses. And if the witnesses don't want to cooperate, they're going to be deemed guilty of a Class A misdemeanor. We shouldn't have to get to this point. If you're in government, you should be representing and working for the people. Pretty cut and dry. Again, the Century Code says all matters pertaining to the affairs of the county shall be considered by the board in session only. Nothing gets talked about outside this board, and it is mandatory that you guys take this up. Now, we got a group that's gonna be doing some initiatives, and that's what I'm here to talk about. And the goal of this is to bring power back to the people because the government's failing us. Now, I respect law enforcement as long as they respect the law. But law enforcement we have a problem with. They're violating the law by not enforcing the law, not doing their duties. And if they have evidence and knowledge and any notice of a violation of the law, again, the word shall investigate and seek the evidence. That's not happening. I'm getting a closed door. I'm getting ignored. I have the evidence. I know the laws and I know the case law. I shouldn't have to be doing this, but I am going to be doing it. And I'm not alone. Don't ever think I'm alone. There's so many people upset with what's going on. Okay, police officers shall report the information to the state's attorney. It's not may, it's shall. This information has to go to the state's attorney. And shall assist the state's attorney in the prosecution of the violations of said laws. Not happening, folks. You're breaking the law. The sheriff's department is breaking the law. So is the state's attorney. And we also have oaths. Many people don't have a proper oath of office or any oath of office. And under the North Dakota law enforcement officers are to uphold the Constitution and laws of the United States and the Constitution and the laws of the state of North Dakota. Not happening, folks. I shouldn't have to be here. This is their job. They're going to be held accountable. I shouldn't have to hold law enforcement accountable. That's their job. And if they're found to willfully fail to report the violation of a criminal law, and that's happening, they're gonna be held accountable again. We're not screwing around with these damn district courts. They're corrupt as hell, we all know it. If you've dealt with the legal system, you know. I'm very good with the law. And I work with people that are very good with the law. And Walsh County should be very concerned with what's coming. Because you are being watched. It's not just me anymore, not like it was in the past. All this stuff's been reported to the FBI. They got it all. But they're even honest. They're waiting for a certain president to get back in to make sure these laws are enforced. And with what's happening with him, you better be damn sure he's gonna be pretty ticked off at our judiciary and our attorney general.
Excuse me, Mr. Sanderson, can
Yes.
you watch your language, please?
What did I say wrong, Karen?
Damn, I don't like that in my meeting. I'm
I
sorry,
don't care what you want. You work for the people, Karen.
but I'm
Damn
in
is not
charge
a
of
bad
this
word.
meeting, so,
That's fine.
okay,
I
thank you.
won't use the word that you deem offensive.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna do initiative on judges as well. Because we have a judge that's violating state law, rules of court, judicial canons, federal law, constitutional law, North Dakota Supreme Court, federal case law, and US Supreme Court case law. They're not immune. They think they are. They're not. We have clerk of courts that have no oath of office. Either the clerk or the deputy clerk. Everything they've done is null and void in violation of the US Constitution, North Dakota Constitution, federal law, and state law. Everything's null and void. Just stop and think of the seriousness of that. I brought up the state's attorneys ignoring crimes. That's a violation of state law. They have to work with the sheriff's department. They have to investigate. We're gonna do initiatives to make it way easier in the Home Rule County Charter to remove elected and appointed officials. And we can do that. The North Dakota Supreme Court rulings are misleading and inaccurate on Home Rule County charters. Property taxes, we're gonna do initiative on that. You wouldn't believe the amount of people that come and talk to me about what's going on right now. This new jail, whatever it's being built for, or the people don't want it, there will be a referendum if this goes forward. The first initiatives are just the first round. We have many more initiatives there. And the Home Rule County Charter has to be upheld. And the state's attorney will defend it in court. And like I said before, I'm not the problem here. I just want the government to enforce the law. They enforce it upon us. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'd like the commissioners to talk to all departments in Walsh County to enforce open record laws, not to play games with them. I know the open record laws, I know the case law. I would like some discussion from this board on the stuff I brought up, especially the crimes being committed by the government. What are you gonna do about it? We have commissioners that are in charge of the state's attorney's office and the sheriff's department. What are you gonna do about it? I want an investigation. I want to be involved in that investigation. It's not my intent to go after our law enforcement. I appreciate law enforcement. I appreciate our military. But I have no appreciation for the legal system in this country. We see what it's doing to our former president. It's doing the same damn crap to me.
Mr.
Karen?
Sanderson, I guess as the county commission, it is my understanding that we deal with county business and county operations. We don't deal with the law enforcement side. So I don't know what you expect us to do. You want us to bring a suit against?
No, an investigation.
Well,
You have the right under state law to do it.
we've never done that here. I don't know
That
that.
doesn't matter if you haven't done it, Karen.
Okay,
You took an oath to the Constitution. Or supposedly you did, US and North Dakota Constitution, which means you are gonna uphold the laws. You have to oversee your departments. It's in state law. Karen, I'm not here to be an adversary to you. I'm here to ask you to follow the law, Karen. That's it. You can't blame me. You can't be upset at me for that. Can I go out and violate the law? Richie'd have me in handcuffs pretty goddamn quick.
okay. Your time is up, Mr. Sanderson.
Are you gonna do an
thank you for
investigation?
coming. I won't comment on whether we'll do an investigation or not.
Then I would like a reply by the end of the day, somehow, phone call, text, email, you guys all have it. Sheriff's Department too, Storm. You're responsible for that department. You're not gonna enforce the law. Then step down. Cause it's coming. You guys aren't safe anymore. There's bigger powers involved in this than.
Okay, thank you. We'll call on, Beaver River Soil Conservation District, Josh.
Morning, everyone.
Okay,
This sent over an email before I got here. So I wanted to start with an update on, last meeting, we brought a template for the groundwater protection ordinance. And this week, I had a meeting with an organization that specializes in gravel pit restoration. And so we're in talks with them. We have another meeting scheduled for either March 20th or March 21st. So I'll get those details for you of our Walsh County Water Quality Team, which will include a representative from the organization. They laid out a plan that's comprehensive and pretty very cost effective. They have I won't go into detail on it here, but basically that we would be able to remediate a lot of our issues that we see with groundwater. The other reason that we're here today is our office has begun the programs that can be funded through our 319 watershed grant that I wanted to bring to your attention. We have a few issues in the city of Park River where some homeowners have contacted us about the erosion that's happening along the Park River in the kind of Kensington area. We've gone out the photographs that I sent you guys, and you may public or whatever with that. Yeah, you got those.
yes.
That demonstrates sort of the level of erosion that has happened along that bend in the river in Park River. We have been in touch with our federal 319 contacts, and we can get funding for this, but that's a 60-40 cost share model, right? So we are looking for, and I don't know where we could get this kind of help, but looking for ideas for how that might be, some of that financial burden might not be put onto those individual homeowners. And so if it's something that we can work through the county, I'm happy to write additional grants, or if it's something that we can work through the city of Park River, I don't know what we can exactly do there. We have, and then there's another site near Edinburgh where there's a similar issue. It's not in the city though. That's more of a typical stream bank restoration project that would still fall under our 319. But so I guess the good news on this is that we do have a funding source and like an engineering partner that can help with restoration of that stream bank issue that we see there. But we want to try to mitigate the cost to individual homeowners because it's a larger scale project, and we're just sort of seeking guidance on that.
I guess, I guess you guys have never come for us to help with cost share for private owners,
Right.
so, we'll have to discuss that.
Out along the river,
Yeah.
stream bank erosion is just a natural process. I deal with a lot of it on my property
Yeah.
myself,
Yeah.
and I just can't see spending taxpayers' money on
Sure.
private property
Sure,
just because the stream bank is eroding. Aaron, you've got issues out there.
sure,
It's a personal responsibility,
sure.
in my opinion.
No, I mean, I don't disagree. I guess what we're thinking of in this case is, any mitigation that we can do there, if we're doing it for individual landowners, there would be, it's a stretch of river where there's a lot of individual landowners. So in other situations of this variety, 319 has worked directly with cities and with counties as opposed to working directly one-on-one with individual landowners. So that's why we're bringing it to the attention here, is that it's not, this isn't of affecting one person, it's affecting an entire neighborhood, you know, in the city of Park River.
Where would it stop? Where would it go?
Well, I was on soil conservation before, and it's always been up to the individuals. But you open that can of worms and start helping Park River, and you got mint on the Forest River, and how many branches in the Park River?
Right.
I don't know if the water board could help you with some grants or something. I know they do snagging and clearing and get some money.
I mean, that's essentially what I'm saying. I'm not necessarily saying that we take this out of the county funds. I'm
Yeah,
bringing this to your attention.
I think what you do is, I'm on the water portfolio,
Yeah,
call Sarah and see, or maybe go to a meeting with them and see if they can, and they're strapped with money too, but maybe they can find you that little bit of money to help out, I don't know.
yeah. I mean, we're pretty effective grant writers in our office too. It's just a matter of, trying to bring this to the attention of the public and seeing what kinds of things we can come up with. Some
The trouble, and I get it, if you can write a grant, you can bring the cost down, but there's always a cost share with the grants, so it's not gonna, I don't know if these, who you're talking to, the cities, but
Yeah,
they gotta be cognizant that it's gonna be some skin in the game,
right.
you know, you're not gonna get it all paid for, that's for sure. And luckily, if you can get grants to pay for it. Yeah.
Amy?
Just from past history, I know probably with not knowing starting and ending, but costs, you know, for this, like you haven't estimated of what
Yeah,
this is.
so what we're going to be able to do without having to put any money in right up front is just to have the partners that we work with come out and do a sort of estimate, you know, be able to start from there. I don't know, I mean, we're sort of just at the stage of bringing this to attention. I know that in this particular issue, I know predates us. It's something that has been brought up a few times. And we want to be the team that tries to solve it, I guess. So there's, you know, we know that it's a cost and, we're just trying to figure out the best way to move forward and solve this kind of problem, and, you know.
Have you talked to Corps of Engineers?
Not yet, but no,
So that could be a snag. I mean, I've talked to you guys, I've talked to Sarah. And, you know, this is how much we can pay and this is how much you could pay, and you're still talking about a lot of money.
Right,
That's why I've not done anything with my bank.
right.
My bank is
Hundreds of.
almost, and
Yeah.
so I can't afford to do it. I've gotta think of something else if the river comes up again.
Yeah,
So, I mean, good luck with trying to find enough money to do it all even.
yeah, I mean,
And then you got the court,
yeah,
and it's gotta be done a certain
It
way.
straightens the tap certain ways and it gets
I
spent.
mean, you know that,
yeah,
Josh.
totally, yeah, no,
I appreciate.
we
you
only
guys.
deal in complicated
Yep,
issues.
yep.
Yeah, that's
I appreciate your concern, or we appreciate your concern, because it is a big concern, and there's a lot of, the way the river's been coming, the water's been coming, it's really wreaked havoc on a lot of people's places and land, and,
Totally, yeah.
Water's not complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that snake, you know, when they're doing that in the rivers with trees, it's still pretty active, you know what I
They
think
just
about?
did,
Yes.
I don't know how many miles, but they just got done. They
at
did,
Christmas time. they
yeah, a
did.
certain section of the
To
park.
keep that program, you know, strong and active is,
that could be a mixed blessing.
Well, sometimes
Exactly.
they take the trees off the side and then it's more erosion, yeah, so. And I went and looked at some, they're pretty careful of doing that.
Yeah,
But, water's water.
yeah, they're taken out in the middle of the
They
river.
don't try to do the bank if they don't have.
I mean, we'll definitely just keep trying to work with our partners and bring it to your attention. We're not really expecting anything from this. We're just trying to bring it to the attention and seeing what we can come up with, so, and you guys have contacts and partners that might be able to work with us in some way, but.
And another avenue might be, and I don't know if they got a program like that, you could talk to Sarah with that Red River Joint Water. There's a lot of money there, and I don't know if they got anything for stream bank or whatever, but
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody's ever tried them.
Well, and our 319 watershed grant is up in the middle of 2025, so we're in the process of rewriting it. And so that could be another area that we try to address. We're trying to include groundwater as part of that. That can't be included until the year 2026 anyway, through their program. So, we're planning to be writing for both groundwater and then maybe some of these stream bank restoration programs that would hopefully be good for the river and also good for landowners, we'll see what kind of funding we can get, but.
Yeah, it's all the little hoops you gotta jump through to get, to keep
Yeah,
your
that's what we're.
your yard and your
we'll-
farm from flooding. It's
We'll-
ridiculous.
We'll jump through the hoops, but I just want to bring it to your attention. So that's really all we've had, I think, was just those updates and then an invitation to the Walsh County Water Quality team meeting, which is, we have a few members that can only make the 20th of March and a few that can only make the 21st. We're gonna have to make a decision on which day we're gonna choose or if we're gonna go with both. And then a reminder that on April 12th, we have our water festival here in Grafton for 4th and 5th graders, and you're all invited to that. Brandon and I both got certified to be Project Wet facilitators. That's an international organization that started in North Dakota. Which means we can put on lots of different water-related programming in K through 12 schools, but also for community and things like that. So we'll just keep it up to date.
Sometimes that water festival.
We're having, what we decided the time?
Yeah, I think we're having one.
Yeah, I think it's an all day. 4th grade will be in the morning, 5th grade will be in the afternoon, and there'll be different events, and we have lots of different.
Where's that gonna be at?
It's gonna be at North Valley.
Okay.
Yeah, at North Valley, yeah.
You send maybe.
Yeah, I'll get that to you guys by the end of this week. I'll get you.
Also, that water quality team meeting, several of us will be gone to Bismarck on the
Oh,
20th
sure.
for a association of counties.
What, does the 21st work for anyone? Yeah, so, what I'll do is, I think there's one person that the 21st does not work for on our side, but I can let him know and we can get him updated, so, yeah. I don't know, I'm over time here though, so,
Okay, well, thanks for the update, Josh. Any more questions for Josh?
I got it.
None? Okay, thank you. Thanks, Brandon, and David. I was gonna say David, and then I thought, oh.
Good memory.
Yep. Okay, next, we're gonna talk about planning and zoning, and I will let Christie kind of lead that.
Sure.
Well, maybe first of all, introduce Matt Richardson. He is actually, was interested in applying for being on the planning and zoning, and I said, well, why don't you come to the meeting and see what it's all about? So this is Matt Richardson, and.
Hello, everybody.
So,
Yeah, so we do have 2 open positions. The first one is a full 4-year term, and then the other vacancy there's 2 years left of it. So we do have 2 positions open, and I sent his information last meeting, so you guys are appointing.
okay, 1 full year term.
Yep, and then one that has 2 years left,
So which term are we appointing?
whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah, yep, I believe that you can appoint either one.
Okay.
Um,
What would you like, 2 years to get your feet wet or 4 to really get into the heat?
I'll be honest with you, I think 4 years, so I can actually have an impact and learn and then, you know, I don't wanna learn and then have to step out. I'd rather learn and then get right into it. So if it was my choice, it'd be a 4-year appointment.
Okay. Well, with that, I'll nominate Matt for the 4-year term.
Second.
Okay. Hold on here. Any more discussion on, the 4-year term appointment to Matt? Any questions for Matt?
Where do I live currently? I live right outside of Grafton, on 72nd Street. In the country, a little country place out there. We're new to town. We've been here since August.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'd like to bring some of my previous experience from Arizona and bring a new set of eyes and be part of the community. So I want to bring some value to this community. It's my goal.
Good for you.
Yeah, thank you.
We could use some of that warm weather too.
Yeah.
In April.
We can't complain this year.
Careful what
Yeah.
you wish for.
In April.
Well, I just would say based on his resume, if you all read, and I think that Matthew's gonna bring a wealth of knowledge and support and experience, so I think this is a win-win for all of us, so.
Okay, well, if there are no more questions or discussion, I'll take the roll. Denny?
Yes.
Amy?
Yes.
Ernie?
Yes,
Myself, yes, motion carried.
Denny and I are on the planning and zoning, so, and there's some issues coming up. We've got some things to do this. I said get winter, but it's almost over.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Well, we have a couple meetings. Have any meetings been scheduled?
no, we're sort of waiting. Denny, you were gonna talk to Kelly on some of that, and we're sort of waiting. I don't know where we are on some of it.
I mean-
I know Alan's on the gravel pit stuff, he was talking to that one lady,
Yeah.
and they were gonna get back to us,
Yeah,
but we haven't heard any. Maybe,
Alan was gonna kind of spearhead that part of it, I guess, so.
maybe, because you talked to them already, Denny, maybe you should check with them and see if anything's happening. Same with Kelly on that, Leslie will be offer.
that's my main concern.
Yeah. So,
That planning meeting needs to
Yeah.
happen last year.
That has gone to court already, hasn't it?
I
Well,
believe
yes
so.
and no,
I don't
but-
know,
there's another hearing coming up and they delayed something, I don't remember at all, but, and I don't know if Kelly was waiting for that to happen before we do this, but I know when we went to, what was the meeting in December, when we talked about it, and she was gonna look at Grand Forks, they just did something, so, yeah, I wish we'd move forward on it too.
So just to update you, Matt, I'm sure you know where Veselyville is. Okay, that's north of where my son lives. And there's an issue with, just a property that's isn't upkept really good, so.
Actually, I've had a little background on that project, just
Okay.
from some of the people that I work with and
Okay,
just hearing it through the grapevine in a sense, so I know where it was going.
okay.
Yeah.
So that, I would really like to have that meeting happen.
Yeah.
Because, our winter has been really good. We haven't had to deal with snow and snow issues there. So, but still, we can't keep pushing it back. If one of you guys can talk to Kelly and just
Yeah.
even have an initial meeting,
Yeah.
maybe.
Okay.
Cause
To talk about it.
what's it, I can't even remember, from Betsville contacted me,
Herb.
yeah. And I told him that it was, we were thought up to Kelly that I tried to get back to him, so if you could get an answer out of her, or what's going on, at least we could update him.
I'll send it in email.
Yeah.
An initial meeting would help, if
Yes.
there are any things that, because we've talked about planning and zoning on a number of things in meetings, so just so Matthew's up to speed on, you know, and then can help.
Yeah.
To,
Yeah, just like we've said here, an initial meeting to just get the ball rolling and see where it's gonna go, so. Okay, did I ask for the
Yes.
vote? Okay, I did that already. Okay,
Officially, yeah.
okay, so we have then 1 2-year term left. Has anybody had any?
Nobody's talking to me.
is it aware, are people aware that that's?
It is on our website. Yeah, so we will keep it on our website. Yeah.
So if we can just put the word out a little bit more and see who would like to be on that. Maybe you wanna update have all those, on who actually is on our planning and zoning and,
Want me to?
yes,
Yeah, so we have Kit McGarden, Dave Bellman, Greg Dushek, the 2 vacancies, Greg Young, Luther, Denny and Ernie.
Okay.
And myself. Actually, there is one more vacancy, I'm sorry. And that one would have,
Would that be
3 years.
because
3 years.
he was the, commissioner?
well, I don't believe so. Chris has been working on this. It has not been very,
Okay,
that, so, no.
it's a little mumble jumble. We're gonna get it so we know who's on.
Yeah.
So after his appointment, there's still 2 left?
Yeah, a 3 year, I'm sorry, it does look like a 3 year, a 2 year. Planning and zoning, nothing really ever happened with it. It was, maybe once a year, they had a meeting. So there isn't much in the file.
Yeah.
So we're working through that. When we had to schedule that first meeting, I didn't even know who was I couldn't even find a list of who was on the committee, so,
So you're saying we can only go up?
that's exactly right, that's exactly right. So, yeah, so there is a 3 year too, I'm sorry.
He's an ex-commissioner, Luther Nieberg, but he's sort of the brains of our planning and zoning. Jenny and I think you were on it, and I just got on it, but Luther's pretty sharp and, but yet he don't like to have meetings if we don't have to and spend county money.
Right.
So, but yeah,
There's some things
and I told him we've gotta get something done this year. There's issues there that we gotta answer or do something about. So,
Okay, we'll move on to the gaming permit. We have a Walsh County Gun Club raffle and, I think typically we put this up with consent
It is, yeah.
agenda.
Is it? Okay,
Yes, I think
okay.
you just forgot
Okay.
about that.
Okay.
But how about if we make a motion to accept this gaming permit just
Oh.
because?
I'll
it's
second it.
gaming only? Typically, we put gaming permits up with consent agenda and that's all with that. So
Okay.
I think you just forgot about that.
No problem.
Yep.
Big deal.
Any more on that? I'll take the roll. Ernie,
yeah,
Denny,
Yeah.
Amy,
Yes.
myself, yes, motion carried. Okay, then we will go on to added agenda. Ernie, I'll let you go with the highway department.
Jason's in Bismarck, but he sent an email yesterday. Actually, I finally got some good news coming out of the highway department. The bridge truck, the last wiring connections were supposed to be yesterday. Hopefully we'll have it done in either tomorrow or Wednesday. Well, finally, after what, 5.5 months?
Oh, God.
Yeah. The skid steer, the trouble they had there with that cylinder, it should be done this week. Those water board bills, I don't know if you got the email, but so they worked with Christie, they cut us a check, we cut us a check, but the end result is that 205,000, whatever, just so there's a paper trail. Cause there's certain, this drain and that drain and everything, and I think you did it the right way, and I talked to the water board and they were happy with it, so that's to me is just a good paperwork trail and stuff. And, we all remember County 9 when the bridge went on last fall during harvest. They had a bid in, and their initial bid, it's a 14 by 14 concrete box culvert with all the wings and stuff. The initial bid was 630 some thousand, I wanna say. We just got an update last week, it's 449. So it come down to 400, and I think that's a sign, it was the only one company inside of Devils Lake that wanted to do it. I think, cause most of them have a mold, well, this 14 by 14, they decided was gonna fit what we needed, so they wanted a 14, well, a lot of companies didn't. But, this one's out of Devils Lake, and I think it's a sign of the times that maybe some of this concrete and all this stuff is gonna start coming down. So that's the good news we got. And next week, starting Monday, the Adams Store will be starting to take it, pull it down.
You're gonna take it out?
Yep. So as soon as they have the skid steer back, so that's the plan, so that's some good news I finally got. No big expenses or surprises. But it still seems pretty expensive, 450,000 for a box culvert.
Yeah.
But signs of the times.
Any questions on the highway department report?
Ernie, is there a conference?
Yeah.
I don't remember which one he's meeting with DOT and some other one, but yeah. I will say that for the highway. Oh, I know what I forgot. I don't have it here. I had it. The retirement party for
Yes, Bill Jasmer.
Bill, just, what's the date?
Jasmine,
I don't know if you guys, I got an email. Yeah.
he sent it
It's
twice.
gonna be at Shop 7 in Grafton,
We all.
or Hartford, I mean.
We all.
You all got an email on that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I told him, Jason, and cause I already had a couple of requests from the Cass County guys, so there's, Ryan's gonna let us,
22nd, March 22nd from 1 to 3
1 to
at
3.
Shop 7 in Parker.
they're gonna let the former retirees from the county know, so they can come, so, yeah. Wayne Bell was curious, and I told him, and then Ryan, I know, is gonna contact most of them too. That have worked with the county and stuff, so.
Yeah, 45 years.
He didn't really want any, and like Jason told him, he said, you know, you've been here 45 years, you got it. And you know, Bill, he's humble.
Mm.
I'll never forget when he decided to retire and he looked at me, we were in a shop meeting and he said at the meeting, he looked sideways at me and he said, was somebody gonna be in Adams? He was worried about Adams closing. That's all he cared about. And I said, well, Bill, I think we'll keep it open. Yeah,
He must have been 20 when he started,
I don't know, we're losing a good guy there.
Is he?
right out of high school.
Yep.
Started as part-time summer, and then he came right in.
And boy, he takes pride of that area and that blade.
Yeah,
Yep,
went to school with him.
Yeah, we're pretty fortunate, the guys that have stayed with the county
Yeah.
that long and work, and they take pride in it, you know.
Dedication.
Yeah.
and that's one of the jobs we're still waiting to fill, correct, Ernie?
I think,
Motor grader
yeah,
and whatever comes along
Yeah.
with it.
we was gonna open it up, I haven't talked to Jason if we got any applications or not, but, cause we were hoping to get somebody to maybe get in and get their feet wet before he goes,
Sure.
but I think Roscott's gonna go up that way, so he can ride with him and then.
That's kind of what the plan.
Well, yeah, Phil back on, that's the last plan I saw or heard of, so.
Okay, done with highway department. We'll go to a jail meeting. We had a jail meeting last Thursday, was it, Amy? We had a Zoom with Elvadas.
Monday.
Last Monday, myself, Amy, the sheriff, Jason and Tanya, and, Dave Scholl came to, visit with us. His main thing for that meeting was to come and talk about the spaces in the building. They wanted to know exactly, you know, what was gonna go in it, and so we talked about that. And he took all that information, and we will have another meeting on March 14th, yes. He'll come and bring us more information. Maybe give us an estimate on something, but, otherwise, we're still in the planning, you know, part of what we're gonna do, and, Amy, do you have anything?
Well, they really went through detailed as far as like classification and, you know, how the Jill, and they showed us several setups, which were nice to see a direct hallway that would connect and, you know, just, they went through a lot of things and answered questions that I think haven't come up yet as far as just how it's gonna be and where people will go and females versus males and how, you know, we would want it to be set up. So it was nice to see something tangible, like on the screen as far as, you know, options.
But we did talk with the Samuels group about that, or the Klein, you know, we went into detail, but we just needed to talk to them about the detail on what it was gonna be, and they gave, you know, some suggestions about it and like that. So, I mean, it's a process, we're moving forward, but yet, you know, it won't come soon enough. Till we get an estimate on what it is and what we can do and the funding, so.
And you have to do it right,
Yeah.
you know, and
Slow and careful.
Yeah,
one thing that he brought up though, that they told us is that because this is a historic, on the historic registry, the new space can't mimic. Like, they want them to look different. So that was something that was new to me, because I like it to, you know, would like it to look uniform, but obviously they'll still make it look nice. It's just there's requirements and restrictions on new builds outside of historic. But they said it was a very productive meeting for them, for Elvadas, so I'm hopeful that means they'll be taking more steps.
yep, we would have had a meeting sooner, but Dave just went on vacation this week, so. Or next week, I guess, so. Any questions on that?
Jenny, you'll be at the next meeting.
Yes.
Well, it's just, it's not nice to know, but it's scary that there's other counties that are having trouble the same as we are.
Yeah.
It's
Well-
real issues.
Yeah, going back to, what was said here before, we are concerned about safety in Walsh County. So in order to have safety, we have to have a jail. I know that there's gonna be a lot of people who aren't in favor of a jail. But if we don't have a jail, we aren't taking people who need to be in jail.
I think if you go into Century,
So,
isn't one of our obligations as a county to have a jail? I was reading in there,
Well-
and it states in there, and I'm thinking if we transport them, that's sort of a jail too, but it states in there that the obligation of the county is to
Yep.
provide a jail.
And an update jail, like an up-to-date, a modern, something that's gonna provide safety in the times that we live in. So, I mean, that is our responsibility and we are taking it very seriously, but that's a requirement. We can't keep functioning with what we have, so,
Hey, they won't let us function.
right?
and anybody can say they don't want a jail, but, we do and we need.
Cornerstone of law enforcement.
Yeah, so.
Always has been.
So we'll move forward with that and we'll keep everybody updated on that also. So, are there anything more to bring before this board?
Did you see on the news, it's probably gonna affect you, Karen, when you go to Bismarck, that there's Valley City's one of them and stuff, that they're gonna try to get some money for some of these older schools.
I did see that
Yeah.
and,
I'm just wondering if you saw it.
I did see that. So, I mean,
It'll be interesting to see. In
Yeah.
a lot of small towns with their schools, they can't afford bringing them to,
what was it called? The school update, not update, something.
Referendums, update referendum or something. It was on the news the other day and I thought, and Valley City's a big enough one, but they showed pictures of their.
I think there was a couple of them
Yeah,
that
there
were
was-
there.
These are universities, Ernie, or?
No, high school, grade school, or I call it kids curriculum. And it's just a lot of them having trouble keeping up, and I suppose, if they don't meet code or whatever, they're gonna be in trouble, but it was sort of interesting that their approach was maybe talk to those legislatures. And I figured, it's gonna affect you guys up there now, because they're gonna come and want money for them, so.
Yeah.
It's just a sign, the schools are getting old, the jails are getting old, our bridges and roads are getting old. Just age is catching up to us.
Okay. Is there anything more that we need to discuss? Do we need to discuss anything about what Mr. Sanderson brought?
I'll get in contact with him, being he openly requested I do, so. I'll get in contact.
That's your portfolio, and so, thank you, Denny, for doing that. Okay,
I made it very clear, even when I spoke with him while I was running, that I'm doing the best that I can in what comes before us, and I'm not gonna make decisions that everyone likes, but I'm doing what I can, what I believe is right. And he made valid points in, certain areas, and I'm a huge supporter of law enforcement and military, but no one wants to pay more taxes and building a jail, I get that, there's nothing like perfect about that, but it's a requirement for us to be able to keep our community safe, our employees safe. So that's all I can say is, that's all I can do, I'm human.
okay.